because this is what we know. When Dak Prescott throws in his direction, his completion percentage goes down, his turnover rate goes up.
It does.
It's fact.
Mm-hmm.
Dez, if I'm Dez, I take my chance on the open market because it's a thin market out there.
Yeah,
Sammy Watkins, but the Rams say we want Sammy back.
Yeah.
So you got Terrell Pryor. You got a few guys. Mike Wallace.
Landry could be. It looks like he's.
But he's a slot receiver.
Yeah. Okay.
Take your chances, Dez.
Yeah.
Dez don't, because you know what it requires, Skip. It's gonna require you to learn a different offense. And what you did in the Cowboys. See, at Dallas, the fans are always gonna love Dez, Skip. They drafted him. Jerry's always gonna love it. He drafted him.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't bring that when you go to another team. Mm-mm. You got to show them. You got to show those fans. Dez is afraid of that. You know what's happening, Skip.
I do.
It's interesting.
And for the record, I used to love me some Dez Bryant. 88, throw up the X.
You threw it up a lot in 2014.
Last year I was just throwing up, period. Just throwing up. So Jerry Jones is facing a season-making or season-breaking decision right here on Dez Bryant.
Correct.
And I'm going to say it again. Jerry Jones, for the sake of his football team, has to swallow his pride and bury his emotions connected to Dez Bryant and let go of Dez Bryant. He's got to cut bait by cutting Dez Bryant. I don't see any way clear of this, because asking a man so proud, a man who believes he was born to finish his career with the Dallas Cowboys, asking that man to take a big pay cut,
a big one too, Skip,
is so dangerous, because he's never going to quite be happy with this. It's going to make him more volatile. I'm talking about Dez. Make him more volatile. It's going to make him more quickly frustrated. It's going to make him make more waves than he's made already, because all he knows is, I was the man in Dallas. And he was through 2014, right. And then his body betrayed him. Mm-hmm. It broke down. Right. It broke down. We're going to talk about Kobe here in a little bit, but the way Kobe's body at the end, it was just breaking down everywhere, right? Yep. It was like a litany. It was just, you could list them, and it would like 13 deep of things wrong with Kobe's body, and we're getting there with Dez Bryant right now. And I'm sorry for it, but again, I love the Cowboys a lot more than I love Dez. In the end, any fan does. And right now, the decks need to get cleared for the sake of the young quarterback now going into his third year. Because as you point out, I just don't see any connection, any rapport, any wavelength with this receiver the way Tony Romo and Dez had wavelength.
So will they be in the market? Because if you get rid of Dez, are you going to be in the market for a receiver?
Well, obviously, my whole contention here is contingent upon you don't need one, you need two more.
Yeah, I would make a play for Sammy Watkins. But Skip, Jerry has an affinity. Now, guys that he didn't draft or he got from another team, he loves Dion. He loves Charles Haley. They helped him win Super Bowls, but he didn't draft them.
No,
they didn't start their careers as Cowboys. And sees that fear and regret. The fear
now Jerry went out and on his own acquired both of them.
Yes.
He outbid everybody and out-finessed everybody for Dion. Yes. Went from winning a Super Bowl in San Francisco to winning one for the Cowboys, the arch rival. Right. And he was the linchpin pulling off that trade for Charles Haley.
And to get Charles and Jerry, everybody, there are very few locker rooms could have dealt with Charles Haley, as great a player as he was at the time.
Jimmy Johnson wasn't happy with this because he thought it was going to be a real hard ride.
Well, you know Charles. I know Charles.
I do know him.
We know a different side of Charles than even the public know.
Yep.
So he's not an easy guy. Back then, he was even more difficult to get along with.
I never felt like, again, Dion loved Jerry and vice versa, but not like this.
No,
this is like son thing.
Exactly.
This is another son.
So the fear that possibly I didn't win a championship with Dez or Tony, and then they go somewhere else. Skip, I don't care what Jim Irsay says. Oh, he's happy to have Andrew Luck. But you don't think he's upset that Peyton Manning not only went to 2, won a Super Bowl after he kicked him to the curb because he said he was done. The Indy doctors told him, say, Peyton Manning not playing anymore. And the guy gets to. So that's what Jerry's up against. Man, Dez goes somewhere else and has a resurgence.
Yeah,
we let him go, and we could have had him here. He wanted to be here, and we could have just
that would tear Jerry apart.
Ooh, so that's what he's up against. But Skip,
You think Belichick ever worried about that? He parted ways a year early with a lot of
a lot of guys.
Anybody come back to haunt him?
He was and if Mr. Kraft hadn't put his foot down, he was going to part ways with someone else.
That would have been his first big mistake.
That's what he's going to part ways with. But Skip, if I'm Dez Bryant, you look. If Dez was what he thinks he is, because you remember they asked him, Skip, they asked him the media, Dez, would you be willing to take a pay cut? He thought about it. He like, hell no.
No.
Hell no, I ain't taking no pay cut.
He did try. It went in his head for a second. Hell no.
Because then, Skip, guess what happens?
You did?
And it was foreign to me because I was comfortable. You know, Mike would drop a game plan and say, Shannon, we're going to be in far double wing. We're going to be in Tiger. I'm cool. I got it. And
plus, it's a whole new city, new circumstance, new fandom.
Now, all of a sudden, I hear 74. When I hear 70, now all of a sudden, I'm like, hold on. 70 at the old place, I was blocking. 70 over in Baltimore, I'm releasing. 50, I was blocking. 50, I'm like, whoa, hold on, slow this down. And so they throwing it all on your plate. Shannon, you got to learn this. Shannon, you got to learn the Tiger position. Also learning the X at the same time.
Different to him.
It hurt, Skip, because it said, Denver saying, I can't do this no more.
That's true.
Denver believe that the guys that they have on that roster is better than Shannon.
I got you.
So now I got to go show him O'Shea still got a little something left.
Yep.
You know, it ain't full, but it's 3/4.
I got you.
So Dez, it's on you.
Even at a dramatically reduced rate, if you throw Dez Bryant back into this lineup and force Dak Prescott on occasion to force throws to Dez Bryant, is it
pay him? In his mind, he still believes he should get as many attempts.
Sure.
Think about it.
So with Dez Bryant, it is all or it is nothing. And I say it's time for nothing for the sake of the young quarterback.
Well, you won't be
nothing.
You will not be able to throw up the X ever again. So
I'm good. I am good.
You good with not throwing up the X?
I don't need to throw up the X.